racing weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, this short track, some say this is the best track for everybody. Everybody loves Bristol, especially on that asphalt. Now, granted, a couple years ago they did the dirt racing. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I've never been to a dirt race yet, but I definitely want to experience it. I wonder when people who are there do that whole situation with the dirt and all that, just dirt flying everywhere. I don't know. I guess it's just a part of the culture, I guess. But we're going to talk about first Craftsman Series truck race at Bristol. So you have the favorite, Kyle Busch. Now, Kyle Busch swept both stages. He did. But guess who was right there with him most of the time? Christian Eckes. There was one caution, Ty Majeski, at the beginning of stage 3 in turn 2. He got loose and his truck got sideways and he ends up hitting his teammate, Ben Rhodes. It's messed up for both of them. And then on the 6th caution, now this one, I want to get y'all opinion on. Did Stuart Friesen have every right to feel how he felt towards the young guy, Nick Sanchez? He was mad at Nick Sanchez in post-race. He was all in his face. He even got the jacking the man up. Even with, his team around and they trying to, de-escalate the situation before it even got to that. It looks like Stuart Friesen felt like since he was washing up and it wasn't the last lap of the race, that Nick Sanchez should have gave the veteran the lane and lifted. You know what they say, if you lifting, you quitting. And these young guys are very aggressive, and I don't think there's too much anything wrong with them being aggressive as long as they're being safe. So when Stuart Friesen came up the track, he ended up hitting Nick Sanchez, and Nick Sanchez went into the wall. Nick Sanchez was pleading his case like, look, if I wasn't there, you was going to smack the wall. So regardless, you wasn't totally basically in control is what I got from that whole situation. But Stuart Friesen felt like he should have sat there and allowed that man to do his thing. And then Nick Sanchez could try later to try to pass him. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I really want to know y'all opinion. Do y'all agree with the young gunner, Nick Sanchez, or agree with the veteran, Stuart Friesen, on these young guys need to be more conservative at times and know when to be aggressive? So after that, Kyle Busch, like I say, he swept both stages, 1 and 2 in the truck race. You put that man in the truck, he going to do his thing. But he led a lot of laps. But in racing, it only matters to lead one lap. And who led that lap? Christian Eckes for the win. Shout out to Christian Eckes getting that W. Now on to Cup Series. So, the Cup Series race, I really enjoyed it. It showed you that racing is about adjusting. So those who are new to the racing culture, especially NASCAR, it's about adjustments. That's what these crew chiefs get paid to do. Make adjustments. Pit crew got to be ready to understand what that adjustment in the plan is. Crew chief is at the top. Pit crew goes down. They right there with the car. Hey, get this done. Take that air out this time. Do this. Crank the suspension. Whatever they need to do it. Because the issue was marbles. Marbles was the issue for the whole situation on this track. It was just black tire marble everywhere. They considered it to be like the track was cheese grating the tires. And granted, it wasn't a super hot day. But at the same time, it was cheese grating the tires the way the track is now. And NASCAR, everybody was surprised. Chase Elliott, he even said it. He was surprised. So when you have that going on, we're going to talk a little bit about it. There was 9 cautions altogether in this race. 2 cautions in stage 1. One for debris from Willie Byron hitting the wall. He got bumped into the wall by Christopher Bell and Logano. Logano was in the middle. Christopher Bell looks like he came up, hit Logano, and Logano was already 3 wide, so he kind of banged into Byron. Byron got loose, hit the wall. So that brought out a caution for the debris. Second caution, that was a 6-car wreck with Tyler Reddick involving some other guys. So after that, Chase Elliott was able to get up momentum and get through the track, and he was able to even lead a lap. He led the 80,000th lap for Hendrick Motorsports. That's a lot of damn laps. I'm just saying, smell like that. Then the third caution, Zane Smith. He blew a tire, which was a lot of issues. He blew a tire, caused a caution. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin both had tire issues. Denny Hamlin got into the wall. He tried to save us, got into the wall a little bit. Not a lot of damage, but he was trying his best not to wreck it. Kyle Busch, that man was driving in reverse. Daggone flat tire. This is the crazy part, though, y'all. Y'all ready for this? Ty Gibbs, Joe Gibbs' grandson, he finally got a stage win in his career for Cup Series racing. He actually, the first and second stage, matter of fact, he got first on. One of them was because, like I said, when that caution came out for Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs was leading. It was only, I think, 2 laps left or a lap and a half, so Ty Gibbs got that one. Then he got the second stage. But in between that, like I said about the marbles and the tires, NASCAR was like, you know what? Which I'm happy they did. They understand they had to make an adjustment. Because the teams have to now re-strategize their situation. So what they did was they allowed them to have another set. They didn't have like a different type of tire, bigger, smaller, none of that. It was the same type of tire, except they had another set to go off of and not have to stay there with the only sets that they started the race with. NASCAR understood the issue, and they tried their best to help with, okay, this obviously no one expected, like I said, the track to eat up the tires the way it did, especially when it wasn't even that hot of a day. So they gave them an extra set of tires, and they made the announcement, I think, around lap 202, something like that. But after that, altogether, like I said, pit strategy came into play. We had 9 cautions. 9 whole cautions in this race. Most of it was because, I mean, it was hard to go, Alex Bowman was talking about, you used to giving the crowd, to go all the way. But once they realized, and these crew chiefs realized, we can't go throttle down. You couldn't hammer down the whole way because your tires were eating up too much. So you had to give and take in this thing. And when it got close down to like 50 laps, depending on when you pitted, coming up on that 50 lap mark, that was going to put you down for the final checkered, okay? And guess who was able to prevail in that? A veteran. This is now his second consecutive Bristol win. He won in the fall of 2023, and now he's won the spring of 2024. None other than either you love him or you dislike him. Denny Hamlin. He has won 4 Bristol races altogether. And he got JGR, Joe Gibbs Racing, their 210th career win period. Speaking of Joe Gibbs Racing, guess who won second place? JGR. Another veteran, Martin Truex Jr. 2 veterans who crew chiefs understood the assignment. And Denny Hamlin says he's been doing this. He grew up on short tracks. Martinsville, South Boston. He grew up on these type of tracks. So it was fun for him, and it was easy for him to adapt. And his crew chief and everybody else was able to adapt. So shout out to everybody there at Joe Gibbs Racing for them understanding on how to get it done. Martin Truex, he was right there, just a little bit late. Denny Hamlin was new to give and take. When to lift, when to throttle down. So he can save his tires and get through the race and win. And he got the win. NASCAR set a record with this race. There were 54 lead changes in this whole entire race. 54. Like I said, it was a very action-packed race. And one thing we can say is, Peter Pan, Wendy now can tell you where your marbles were. They were all over the track at Bristol. Can't wait for next week at COTA in Austin, Texas. Y'all make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what y'all think about the content. Let me know what y'all think about the race in general and the cautions and everything that came with it, all right? Keep that go smack mentality. Smack like that!